Thank you to the following sponsors for helping to make this show possible. Shangri-La by the Sea, the only Indian cuisine on Maui offering authentic tandoori and vegetarian food, located at Menehune Shores on South Kihei Road. Beverly Brunel, spiritual channel and energy intuitive, specializes in clearing unconscious limiting influences in areas of relationship, career, health, creativity, and life transitions. Nina Cherry, business and life coach. She can help you work less, make more money, and enjoy life more. And Your Legacy Video, creating video memoirs for any and all of the important occasions of your life, including your life story to pass down. Thank you to these fine sponsors. Welcome to Life on Maui. This is our 25th show, and it's a very unique and special show. This time, instead of dealing with issues of personal growth or arts and entertainment, we are dealing with humanitarian issues here. I'll introduce my guest in a moment. I just wanted to give a shout out here. I just am coming back from travels to Philadelphia where I visited friends and family. Had a wonderful time. That's where I'm from. I want to give a shout out to Mark and Mindy and Sandy who made my trip there wonderful. To Charles at Charles Plaza, the best Chinese food in all of Philadelphia, maybe in the whole world. And I want to give a shout out to my friends in Santa Fe, Richard and Naomi, and my new friend Ruby. And thanks so much for making this trip possible for me. My guest today is Manjit Sawhney, and he has been involved with the Rotary since 1987 and has done some amazing work to alleviate suffering in India. And I want to welcome you to the show, Manjit.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Aloha.
Aloha. What was it that first got you interested in Rotary? I know you've been involved with Rotary since 1987.
Well, the first thing that got me into Rotary was that I had seen it grow. I had seen it being met when I was in school. And when I first got an opportunity, someone invited me to join Rotary. I jumped upon it and first joined a Rotary Club which was being chartered in 1987. And this is a breakfast club.
A breakfast club?
And we pride ourselves in saying that Rotary in India begins with us because we meet on a Monday morning at 7:59 a.m. But that is the time I just joined Rotary. But I really became a Rotarian was when the club undertook a community project. There was this urban slum area which is not far from where we live.
Which is where? Where is this?
It's in South Delhi.
In South Delhi.
And it's adjoining one of the most prestigious piece of lands, and it's not far from where most of the diplomats live and the embassies are situated. It's about 2 kilometers from there. And this is the urban slum area where people who migrated into Delhi for looking for better pasture, and they are mostly daily wage earners. And my club got interested in that project, and that's how I got involved in Rotary.
And when you say urban slum, you mean no sanitation, no running water?
There was no sanitation, there was no running water, there were just hutments there. And when we visited this place for the first time, what really got me worried and interested was that when we visited the families, we saw that it was perhaps a 2-year-old looking after a 6-month-old baby, because both the parents had gone out for looking for to earn their daily wage.
So little tiny kids were taking care of
Taking
younger
care
kids.
of younger kids. And there was no way they could have been fed. There was no way they could have got water. There was no sanitation available. There was no fresh drinking water available. And this got us worried, and our club started a nursery, what we called back home as a creche.
A creche is French word for nursery?
It's a British word.
British
nursery.
word. Uh-huh.
And so a nursery school we started, where we hired a maid who would collect these kids early in the morning, clean them up. We provided them with fresh clothes, and also gave a midday snack and a midday meal with some milk and some fruit. And then in the evening, she would take them back to their homes so that they could be there. By that time, their parents were there. In the initial stages, we did get resistance from the parents even, because they did not know what to do, why we were there, and why we were looking after the kids. And but gradually they came to know that Rotary was there to look after, to do some good for them.
How many kids are we talking about?
When we first started, we started with 20 kids. But today we have over 175 of them in our creche. And so this got us, and then we started because we realized the need for a dispensary there. And not only for these kids, but also for the women folk and others for their minor ailments or major ailments they had. So our club, the second thing we did was open a dispensary.
A dispensary is a medical.
A medical this thing, where we had a doctor, a Rotarian doctor. He would spend 1 hour every day of his time in the evening or late afternoon, by which time the parents had come home, so that they could also avail of it. And on a Sunday, he would spend about nearly 2 hours in the morning to give advice to the inmates there of this village. Then later on, we found that there were many young girls there who should have been in school. But unfortunately, because of the fact that there was no water, no sanitation, a lot of them were there to collect water because the municipal truck would come and provide water for them. So they needed to be there available to collect water.
And another thing you were saying is that the vocational center was mostly for girls.
Yeah. Then we started a vocational center. The prime importance was the girls, because we increasingly felt that it was really very important to educate a girl child. And we keep reminding ourselves that when you educate a boy, you're educating an individual. But when you educate a girl child, you're educating a whole generation. And our emphasis has been on that.
So when your slogan is, when you educate a boy, you're educating an individual. When you educate a girl, you're educating a generation.
That's right. That is right. That's what our emphasis is. And with this in mind, we started the sewing classes, beauty culture classes, embroidery classes, and then we added a few more, like horticulture and all. And then we added computer classes, training classes. We have about 8 computers now, where we have 3 sessions going on, where we teach them how to work on the computers. And just to share with you, this program was going on for 15 years when the club thought that, they're tired of it, and why don't we think of some other programs or some other area? And on my suggestion that they should first have a survey done. And the survey came out with some very startling revelations. The company we had hired to give this, their managing director personally came over to give the reply to the club, to the findings to the club, and he said that he himself was amazed at the result of the small work done by us. because he said that most of the girls had now gone back to the village